5 and 19th Street.
He starts year 2 with Nebraska, Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule with the Temple, also with Baylor, where we got to know him very well, Carolina Panthers, and joins us on 365 Sports. Matt, thank you as always for your time. Why year 2 has always been special for you? Why is that? Some guys come in, maybe the team's more loaded, you've rebuilt rosters, you've had to change culture, deal with other things as well. Why has year 2 always been that good for you?
Well, usually because year 1 wasn't very good. There's usually there's nowhere to go but up. But what I would say is, we build our program really on like player development. We build our program on standards. And the first year, those seniors, whether it's the great group we just had here this year, whether it's the great guys I had at Baylor like Taylor Young, or guys that I had at Temple, like they really don't know what to expect. It's so different, maybe sometimes, maybe it's not. But year 2, you kind of know what to expect. You understand not just the what, but the why, and you usually make some progress. And so I'd say right now we're kind of headed in that direction where I expect us to make some progress based upon where we were last year.
Have you been able to download all the information from Coach Belichick last week?
Yeah, Coach was amazing, man. I mean, he came in and just sat there and talked with us for, 4.5 hours, just sitting there visiting. And I think the thing that when you spend some time with really, really, brilliant thinkers is usually they take really complex subjects and make them simple. And he had some really great thoughts for us, some things that confirmed ways that we do things, some things that made us, think about how we can do things better. So it was just an unbelievable day. And then he spoke at our clinic and did a great job with that.
Coach, what is the puzzle pieces that you're most trying to figure out right now with this team? You obviously know your team a lot better. I'd imagine the culture's probably coming along. So where's like your area of emphasis? Is it more on position battles, or is it still a matter of trying to do the extracurriculars and the outside work still as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a great locker room. We have a great team that does things right. I really don't have any questions about that. If you look back to last year, we were probably a top 3, top 4 defense in the Big Ten. Probably a top 15 nationally, and really struggled. Mainly on offense in the passing game. I think we were second or third in running the football, but struggled in the passing game. And so one of our main focuses this year has been really concentrating on the controlled passing game, not just trying to be explosive and play actions, but really be able to come out, whether it's third down or 2-minute or in the red zone, and throw and catch the ball at a high level. And I think with our run game and with our defense, if we can add that part of the passing game in, I think we can really make a jump. And so I think that's kind of like globally, but our approach is we're trying to help every player get better. We're always trying to move guys around in different positions to help them be as successful as possible. And that's kind of the approach we continue to take right now.
Harburg last year came in and did everything he possibly could. Then you had the 2 incoming freshmen with both Dylan Riola and Daniel Kalen. How do you tap the brakes on expectations for what everyone seems to say about Dylan Riola?
I'd say most people either A, aren't happy, or B, aren't real successful when they're sitting there worried about other people's expectations. I think when you have the type of recruiting that status that Dylan had, you're obviously gonna understand that there's high expectations. I mean, the thing is just to root yourself in the day by day process and make sure that when you wake up every single day, whether that instead of saying, "Hey, I'm a 5-star recruit," say, "Hey, I gave 5-star effort today. I improved in a 5-star type of a way." And so I think you take that across the program. That's really kind of the way we do things. So, for us, it's easy just to look at Dylan or look at Daniel Kalen, or look at, one of the freshman walk-ons that joined the program, and have the same expectation for all of them. That, they wake up every day and they try to get 1% better and attack everything that they do.
You know him and knew him because of family on staff, and obviously the history and legacy and lineage at Nebraska. What do you know about him that perhaps you didn't know?
I mean, just a an excellent young man. I mean, he's there's no entitlement. There's nothing but work ethic. He wants to be good. He works hard at it. It kind of fits right into our culture and our way of doing things. And so, in the years that we've been successful, we've been really blessed to have great quarterback play, and that whether that was P.J. Walker at Temple or Charlie Brewer at Baylor, and that a lot of that came from their preparation and their confidence, and their preparation and confidence made their teammates believe in them. So, Dylan's only a freshman. He's working on, all of that. Daniel's a freshman. He's working on all of that. But that is the recipe. And, I think he believes in that, comes by it honestly.
This is year 2 for you in the new world of college football. When you left and came back, so many things had changed so fast. Do you feel more capable in hitting the ground running this year with all the other things as opposed to basically having to get on planes and get in cars and start recruiting in all these different ways that before you didn't even think about because they weren't available to you?
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I might preach every once in a while about how I think something's right or wrong, but for the most part, whatever the rules of engagement are, I try to embrace them as quickly as possible. Sitting around complaining about things doesn't get anything done, and so I'm definitely more comfortable this year than last year, just with a little bit of experience. I think I have a better rhythm to, hey, this is how we should do this, and this is how we should handle the portal, and this is how we should handle recruiting. Because at the end of the day, this is always going to be a player acquisition, player retention, player development game. And so, going through this first year, I think we recruited at a pretty high level. Now we have to just continue to make that year after year after year, and we'll continue to adapt as the game changes.
Coach, I always try to follow players from the state of Texas doing stuff with the Earl Campbell Award, and a guy who I saw commit to UT a year ago. I was fascinated by him, Isaiah Nayor. Obviously, they were pretty deep at wide receiver. He was dealing with injuries, so on and so forth. But now he's with you guys, and I can imagine he's probably pretty hungry. I saw notes about him throughout the springtime. What can you tell us about the addition of Isaiah Nayor and just what you've learned about him, what you liked about his game, and what you think he can do for the Cornhuskers?
Well, Isaiah's, tremendously talented. Just a physical specimen. Can run, big, fast, explosive. Mitch Cholowinski, who's our director of sports science here. Mitch worked under Andrew Altoff when I was with him at Baylor. Then went to Texas. Had some connection in terms of some knowledge of not only Isaiah's ability but also his work ethic and his character. And so he was really big on, hey, if we can get this guy, we should get him here. And it's been great to have him. I think he will only add to a young receiving core, bring some experience. He's had some adversity. He's learned how to overcome things, and he's also extremely talented.
Matt, without getting into what has at times been a team that's hurt themselves the last several years, not just last year, but several years, is that just something as you get better players, more experienced players, they understand the football IQ better?
I don't know if it's. I mean, I'm sure in some ways it's partially that. I think we as a coaching staff take a tremendous amount of responsibility on. Hey, we have to coach at a high level so that our guys aren't beating themselves in crucial moments. And I think a lot of it comes down to just the confidence, an expectation level. If you believe that, things are going to happen and you believe that you're going to go make the plays it takes to win, usually you do. I mean, that 2019 season, we had the ball 2nd and 19 at the -1 yard line against Texas Tech, down 3 points. It was just over a minute, and Charlie took us and really threw a touchdown to Denzel that he dropped. Well, so we would have won the game outright and had to kick a field goal. Whether it's a 53-yard field goal against TCU that year in 4 overtimes. Those were teams that when they got down to those crucial moments, they believed that they were going to find a way. And yes, it's good players, but there was a level of confidence that came from some of those guys. There was a level of confidence that came from Charlie Brewer. There was a level of confidence that came from Denzel and from all those guys on the those great players we had on defense. That hey, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna make the play it takes to win the game. And I think the thing that we're trying to get across to our guys is, we practice and we work and we do things at such a difficult level. We ask so much of the players that they should be really confident in those crucial moments because we've asked them to do such hard things. So that's kind of how we built Baylor, and we won those games in crucial moments and crucial times. And we're always going to try to recruit. But we don't want to fix our problems only with recruiting. We want to fix it with mindset and preparation, and I think we're making some progress there.
Nebraska football coach Matt Rhule with us on 365 Sports.
Coach, you recently had to meet the new athletic director, Troy Dannon, a Midwesterner through and through. That's always kind of a shocking process when you have staff changes or things happen above you in any walk of life. So far, what's been your relationship like with Troy Dannon?
Yeah, Troy's great. I mean, Troy was at Tulane when I was at Temple. I had a chance to get to know him over the years. And I think anytime you can have an athletic director who's taken a group of five school like Tulane and taken them to the college football, group of five, what do they call it, the big New Year's Six games, beat USC 2 years ago. So the investment that they made there, and then comes to Washington, goes all the way to the national championship game. I mean, they've seen it. They know what it takes. I mean, make no mistake, it takes an unbelievable commitment and investment for programs to be able to sustain winning at that high level. And so it's great to have Troy here because he's done that. He knows it. And now we can continue to accelerate what's expected and what's done here at Nebraska.
Matt, when you have a president that wanted you, and your AD and Trev Alberts who wanted you, and then you have a little bit of that disruption, how much of that gets on your radar and how much of that do you focus on?
Well, I think you're obviously when the people that hire you leave, you just hope that the people that they replace them with want you too. So there's a part of that. I think along the way though, I've fallen in love with being at the University of Nebraska, and so it's one of those deals where, hey, let's make this work and let's make it great. And hiring Troy's been awesome. Now, I look back at my history. I went to Temple. I was hired by Bill Bradshaw as the AD. Replaced him with Kevin Clark, who then promoted Pat Kraft, and Pat being one of my best friends to this day. And we did a lot of great things. Coming in with Mac, who was awesome, and he brings in Jeremiah Dickey and Dr. Livingstone. She wasn't there when I first got hired, but she comes in, and one of the great presidents I've ever worked under was Dr. Livingstone. So just trusting that the right people will be there, and really trying to make sure that the thing that I can do is just like not complaining about NIL and transfer portals, just focusing on the things that I can control and doing my job at a high level, making sure that we're recruiting, we're coaching, we're working, we're preparing. And if I do that, trusting that things will work themselves out.
How much of the 152 games that have been started by the 7 offensive linemen, is that like almost a bucket full of yummy when it comes to a position that I know means a lot to you?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, those guys have seen a lot of wars, and those are 152. Those are Big Ten games. I mean, that's difficult. That's difficult to play in these weather conditions and play in these games. So we got a tough group of guys. They do things really, really, really well. They do things at a high level. So we just believe, we always have, that you win with great offensive and defensive line play. So since we've been here, we've invested, whether it's been the weight room or nutrition or coaching, and also recruiting. We've invested in those positions and look forward to seeking the return.
How much has Micah Mazzccua matured, and how much can he help you? The former, obviously, he's been around, including the time at Baylor.
Yeah, I've known Micah since obviously he committed to go play for Coach Aranda. But, we had started that recruiting process. We've known him since going back to Philly. Really, really talented young man. As with any change, at first, kind of understanding what we're looking for, the expectation level. But he loves football. He's a good person. He's wanted to do what we've asked. I like those kind of guys, and so I've enjoyed my time with Micah. And he can definitely help us. I mean, we want to go in with 7 or 8 guys that we believe can start. So, unfortunately, a couple injuries last year really hurt us. But what they did do is they gave us a chance to get Justin Evans in the game as a starter, give us a chance to get Teddy Prohaska in the game as a starter. So we returned a lot of starters as a result of those injuries.
And Mike is also Italian, so that makes him way cooler. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, but he gets some of that Italian passion and put it on the football field. That would help.
Absolutely. Matt, the fanfare that comes with being the Nebraska coach, does it ever, I mean, I know that there's stress that comes with it, obviously, of expectations, but does it ever get old to be in a place that is so passionate about a thing?
No, I'd much prefer passion over empathy. You know, I much prefer coming to a place where the people, you know, really, really love football, and they're going to be there, rain or shine, and they're going to expect the game to be played at a high level. So, and you know, I love people. I love getting to know people. I love talking to people. I love being around them. I love, you know, meeting little kids that want to be Huskers someday. You know, I mean, it's a lot like, you know, my time at Baylor. I love the people that I met in Waco, and some of our best friends are still there. You know, you come here, you meet similar people, and I will say that you realize pretty soon how much this team, you know, means to the state, and it puts a tremendous, you know, obligation, almost burden in a positive way, but where you feel like, you know, I've got to do a great job to make sure that the state can be proud of our team. How do
you describe Huskers fans? I mean, is there a way to? Because even after all of what's happened in recent years, I know you've fallen in love with that area.
Yeah, well, they're passionate and they're knowledgeable. You know, I remember when we first got here, Ed Foley told the story of, you know, he went and spoke at you know, Rotary Club or something like that. And there were a couple hundred people, and he's a special teams coordinator, and you know, a woman stood up, you know, late 60s, early 70s, and said, "Hey, are we going to fair catch the ball? Are we going to, you know, because in recent years we have, you know, it's not a lot of fluff. It's a lot of ball." And you know, I think the biggest thing that I can tell you is, you know, just being here in our first game. You know, everyone's in the stands, you know, 45 minutes to an hour before the game to watch warm-ups, and it's kind of the Husker way, you know, to make sure they're out there to watch all the guys as they contribute. And so I've really enjoyed that part of it. It's made football really fun for me. And you know, I'm excited to hopefully bring them a winner.
What do you think it'll mean if you do start winning again? When you start winning again there?
Well, I think you know, I think obviously it'll mean a lot to people, and at the same time, it'll also, you know, sometimes you know, you don't know what you had till it's gone. You know, it's like you know, you talk about places. I walk out of my office every day. There's 5 national championship trophies, and so you know, the on top of the college football world, and then unfortunately to have sort of the path that's happened. I think people, you know, again, I think they've appreciated our effort and the work that we put in, the way the players have played the first year. But yeah, we need to go win, you know, so that people can get back to, you know, planning their holiday parties around bowl games and trips and things like that. So we have a lot of work to do to get there. But you know, we were close last year. You know, weren't able to get it done down the stretch. But I think we really grew as a program, and I expect us to make a significant jump this year.
The portal opens tomorrow, which God knows what might happen with that. You have to re-recruit even your own roster, even sometimes now and through the season. You had to not re-recruit Tony White, but boy, you had to fight off some people that understand how special he is. How much of a recruiting coup was keeping him as your defensive coordinator headed into year 2?
Yeah, you know, and I'll be honest, I don't even think of it as like re-recruit our own players or, you know, re-recruit. You know, like I think it's a privilege to be here, and I think the biggest thing is, you know, we just try to always put the players first, right, and try to have them wake up every single day saying, "Man, I'm really taken care of. I'm being developed. I'm becoming a great player." And that's similar to Tony. You know, you have some opportunities, and you know, we extended his contract and gave him the money that he deserved, but I think more important than that is, you know, when you have an end game of being a head coach, you know, kind of making sure he realized that, you know, hey, there's some opportunities here, being a part of the revitalization of Nebraska football that you know, won't be duplicated. And when you do have the opportunity to be a head coach, being a part of this turnaround is going to be something that you can really draw from. And so, you know, I want people to be here because they want to be here, but also because they believe, you know what, there's no better place for my future than for me to be at the University of Nebraska. And that's players, coaches, everybody. And I think Tony recognizes the opportunity he has to build on what we did on defense and be a part of a tremendous turnaround. And if we can get the program turned, then the things we did at Temple, the things we did at Baylor, the things that we do here, kind of the way we do it. Tony will be a part of that, and then he brings his own unique spin. He's a great defensive coordinator, and I think we'll do great things on defense again this year.
Matt, a few years ago here at Baylor, Smokey asked you a question or told your wife that you were drinking Monster energy drinks while we were waiting.
This is not something.
While we were waiting for you to come into the press conference and got you in trouble. Have you? How's that going? And how did you do it? Because Craig and I would like Smokey to stop drinking them as well.
Oh, Smoak! Talk about wow, Smokey! I had no idea you were calling me out, yet you're doing the same thing. So
Yeah,
I wasn't calling you out. I think she.
I
think
right after that, then the doctor got on it, and the doctor was like,
"Oh boy,
I'd rather you drink this than He gave me some pretty good choices instead of energy drink. So I haven't had an energy drink in about 5 or 6 years. So maybe Smokey saved my life. I don't know.
That's the way to look at it. That's the best.
Since then, and it's funny. My doctor told me the other day. He's like, "Hey, I'll let you have 30 to 40 ounces of caffeine a day." So I drink a lot of coffee, but the chemicals and all that, they're not for me anymore.
Chemicals.
Thank you, Matt. And look, I do promise I will get him up to Lincoln.
No, I got a couple of things personally that I got to deal with, like a surgery in the middle of May, and a couple of other things with family. Once I get that done, I'm making a road trip. I'll call to make sure you're there, and we'll get in the car, come up and see you, even if we have to just spend a half a day and bother the hell out of you. And I can't wait. It will be one of the great days of my life.
You should come in June, because I tell you what, there's no better time around here than, I'll be honest with you, the College World Series was one of the coolest things I was a part of last year. So come up to Lincoln, check out Lincoln, come see the facilities, hang out with me, go over to the College World Series. It's about 45 minutes away, and really do it right. But you're welcome anytime. I'd love to have you, and I'll make sure that there's a sugar-free Monster or whatever it is that you drink ready for you.
I promise you, I've seen Nebraska play in person a lot. But I've never actually been to Memorial Stadium, which is still just disgusting that I've never made that trip. I don't know. Well, I didn't have anybody a connection like you. I mean, Coach Osborne would call me every once in a while, but I didn't know it was his number. He'd leave me a number when you're coming up. But I can't wait to see you. I really can't. We'll hopefully see you on the recruiting trail as well. We always have enjoyed that. Good luck with what's going on, getting through what you have as far as another year coming up. Thanks for your time.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Too. Matt Rhule, Nebraska football coach on 365 Sports. And I